And now, ladies and gentlemen, the SWE presents to you the 2020 Hall of Fame. Please welcome your host, the 2019 Hall of Famer, 4-time SWE World Heavyweight Champion, Braveheart.
I think I hate this public speaking part. I don't feel comfortable, especially dressed like this. I'm kind of overdressed. I hate being dressed up. I prefer wearing shorts and t-shirt, you know. But anyway, we're here to induct the 2020 and the 2021 Hall of Famers. And we were meant to have a big screen. The big screen hasn't arrived yet. For the videos that we played. There's a few videos we played today. One of them was Animals video from his wife, and the other one was the induction video for Martin, which Ambrose had done. And it's maybe a blessing in disguise because that video lasted half an hour, the one that Ambrose had sent.
I can still play it if you just video audio.
Very probably comes after 5. I'm only kidding. No, it's okay. We've got that later anyway. He's going to talk for Stallyon.
I shall post the speech on the SWE.
No, you can play it for the...
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's fine.
You tell me when.
Anyway, without much further ado, we're going to go straight into this because we are running a little bit late. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce, although he's not here in person, I'm going to introduce all 19 Ambrose, who's going to do the first induction today.
Oh, this is the end of everything that I've known. Oh, this is the end of everything that I've known. So come on. She sneaks. All I do is win. Charlie Sheen started out in 06 and revived the scene. So many motherfuckers wanna be like me. Came from the lowest of lows, rose to the top with a vision. My haters talking about washing dishes for a living. I'm a business, I be kissing on your missus.
Ambrose, former SWE Grand Slam champion, and unfortunately I can't be there today, live and in person. It's my absolute privilege, my honour, to induct Martin Martin Bethune, my friend, into the SWE 2020 Hall of Fame. Now me and Martin, we go way back, like way back, to both the beginnings of our careers. It's something that's always been obvious is the parallels between myself and Martin. We've always run side by side. Without Martin Stallyon, there would be no infamous Ian Ambrose, there would be no hashtag scumbag. My career, I owe part of my career, definitely, to Martin Stallyon. Now, I've been told I've got to tell some funny stories, but we're going to go way back, way back. Talk about some of our matches, you know, some funny moments, some funny memories, and, you know, hopefully not embarrass you too much, Martin. I've also been given permission to do the accent, but you can blame Brian for that. Everybody's got a Martin Stallyon impression. But we'll build up to the greatest probably Martin Stallyon quote of all time. Anyway, I started the end of 2009, if you can believe it, training at SWE, and Martin came in round about February-March 2010, and at that point I probably would have considered myself the top trainee there. I did have some experience, and we were building up towards our first trainee show for the Heartland Championship. I think it was April 2010. And I was just a little bit ahead of Martin there, but when Martin came in, he changed the game, because we were all, we were all in alright shape. We could do the drills, we could do the exercises, we could do the push-ups, the squats, everything like that, the in-ring stuff. But Martin was a natural athlete. Martin had prepared for this. None of us had really prepared for careers in wrestling. And Martin was in phenomenal shape. He was, great physique, great athleticism, and he was a natural when it came to doing all the athletic stuff. When Martin came in, I thought, fuck, I really need to get a gym membership. I really need to get my shit together, and because Martin was turning heads, we both had matches against the great Johnny Lyons. I had no idea what I was doing in my first match, but he had a match against Martin Stallion, and Martin, blew the roof off the place, just doing all his athletic things, all these awesome spots, all these moonsaults, all this stuff he could do, fast moving, technical, fast paced, and it always pushed me. It made me realise that I had to commit to this, and from early on in my career, I always felt like I had to. Me and Martin were competing against each other. Our first match, believe it or not, was on a SWE Heartland training show. I was the SWE Heartland champion at the time, which is now the Showcase Championship. And me and Martin, double count out, first match. There was no separating us then. My very first Hell for Lycra match was for the SWE Future Division Championship, belt on a pole, and I believe Martin Stallion was added last minute. I won the championship that night. Everyone was talking about all the cool things that Martin was doing in that match. Martin stole the show that night. Phenomenal performance. And he still somehow managed to break his foot and continue the match. I can't remember what he did, but he stole the show that night. Later on, I think he went to become a 2 or 3-time Future Division champion. I'm not sure. I'm not good at remembering statistics and belts and stuff like that. But he had a great kind of run as Future Division champion. Rocking the mullet during that Future Division title reign, I think. We had a match again, one-on-one match. The next one I can remember was the Diamond Dallas Page show. We were determined to steal the show. It was a very small card, if I remember right. There wasn't a lot of matches on it. The whole show was kind of built around the Dundee Hurricanes, Mr. News, Randy Valentine, and DDP were all kind of doing some sort of segment, and there was the SW World title was kind of the main focus. I can't remember if it was Braveheart, but we were thrown on kind of early on on the card just to get everyone going. And me and Martin always wanted to steal the show, fighting on the outside. Martin's in the crowd. I climb up. You had to give me this mug, didn't you? Look. I'm not part of the GWO. In this match I leaped off the top turnbuckle, but little did I know there was big holes in the turnbuckles. So my unathletic ass climbs to the top turnbuckle, leaps from the turnbuckle, the actual post, into the front row, and thankfully Martin Stallion was there to catch me. Not as graceful, not as pretty, not as good as he would do it. But all these little moments are what kind of built towards our big match, our main match, the one that everybody remembers later on down the line at Hell for Lycra in 2014. me and Martin would often go training, but Martin would organise these trips down south, so we went to All Star, trained with Dean Allmark. Martin organised that. He's always pushing us to try and get out there. I got us out to, we started going training regularly to Glasgow to train under Killian Dane, Big Damo, Damo Mackle, however you want to know him. We would go out and travel out there, and like Martin would fly through these drills, but Damo would have us do 100 set goes, and Martin would be fine, and I'd be struggling. But because Martin was there, because Martin was my friend, I wanted to push myself and not quit. And Martin always had that athletic ability to just push himself. The mental strength to kind of just keep pushing himself, and it definitely rubbed off on me. Especially later on years, you know, while I'm a bit older. I'm always thinking I've got to push myself, and that's something that came from working with Martin and training with Martin regularly. Yeah, so we went down south. We did a ball poly seminar as well at PCW, and you know, you go to these things. You might have experience, you might not have experience. Some guys are just going for the first time. Some guys are just going there to meet ball poly. And it's down at PCW, Preston Championship Wrestling, which was a prominent English independent promotion at the time down there. It was very, very on the up, and they would bring in all the indie stars. You'd have your Kevin Steens, you'd have your Apollo Cruises, all these guys. You had your top British talent. You had Lionheart, Noam Dar, Dean Allmark, Nigel McGuinness was there. And we're in the ring, Bob Polly's doing a seminar. They ask him where everyone's from, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm from Scotland. How long you been wrestling? 2 or 4 years, training off and on, not full time or anything like that. He asked Martin. Martin's like, oh, I'm from Scotland. We are the top guys. We're top guys in Scotland for SWE. And like, I would have been fine. Like, you know, big yourself up, but I look over and I see Lionheart and Noam Dar just like this going, and I'm like, oh, dude, like, that's the thing. Martin would always stand up for himself. Martin would always be proud of where he came from and what he did, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Me, I just like to try and fit in, and you know, just play cool. So yeah, I remember Martin getting in an argument with Colt Cabana. You know, you face a legend. You kind of politely suggest things that you may or may want to do in the match. You know, politely suggest, hey, you know, I've got this thing I do. You know, I was wondering, I've seen what you do, stuff like this. You know, or okay. Martin goes up to Colt Cabana, who SW had over numerous times, and goes, I've got ideas for the match. And Colt Cabana looks at him and goes, who the fuck are you? You think you're going to plan this match? You're going to tell me what to do? And Martin never meant any ill will by it. It was just the way he was just direct, very direct with these things. It was, but they had a good match from what I understand. Martin had a great match with Chavo. Great match with Chavo. At Perth, at Hell for Lycra. Which number was that? The big one in Perth. It's 9. Hell for Lycra 9 in Perth. And yeah, they had a great match. Yeah, it was fantastic. They stole the show that night. Once again, I was in a cage match. It was awful. Worst cage match in the history of professional wrestling. Thankfully, there's no footage of it either. I hope. Good. Yeah, it was fantastic to see Martin get in there. He was always giving those great opportunities, and it was awesome to see. Awesome to see. I remember kind of going into 2014. Myself and Martin were being kind of pushed up the card a little bit more, and towards the main event. And I can't remember when we found out, but we were going to be facing each other Hell for Lycra that year, and that's something that everybody had, all the trainees, everybody kind of, it felt like that it was destined to happen. And I think it was perfect timing. We both had the perfect. I mean, we could have done better, obviously, with more experience later on down the line. But I think with how hungry we both were, how determined we were to kind of, push ourselves and become, steal the show. We were both ready for that. And I was going in as SW heavyweight champion at the time. I'm going to take you back a little bit before to a show in Fife for a short-lived promotion by the name of Firestorm Pro Wrestling. And me and Martin were booked in to work a mixed tag. It was myself and Sammy Jane against Martin and Debbie Sharp. Now this is the famous quote, the famous Martin Stallyon line that everyone repeats. And I'm going to tell you the story. Now we're here at this new promotion. We're main event, given the main event spot. I will try and have every match like it's a WrestleMania main event, and obviously, you put me third in the card, second in the card, you put me in a death spot before the main event, I'm going to go out and still try, and that's just what I want to do. And you can't always do that in wrestling. You've always got to kind of know your place on the card. You've always got to kind of fit in around with what the bookers and the promoters want. But and I don't know, for whatever reason, Martin was just not feeling it that day or whatever. But I'm planning this mad, like, indie-tastic, all the high spots, all the cool stuff, dives, all this and that, and we're in the ring with, I don't know, I've got to say, like maybe 34 people in the crowd, maybe, at a push, and I'm still want to go out there and bust my ass, have this crazy match, take all these mad bumps, and Martin, I'm here, sort of getting a little heated backstage and what we're wanting to do out there. And I'm like, man, come on, we gotta do all this stuff, we gotta do all this cool stuff, man, just think about it. We're main event of the show, we gotta put on a bit. Martin's like, no razzle dazzle! Ambrose, no razzle dazzle! And then he storms off. And at this point, Sammy and Debbie are just like, they're just embarrassed because me and him had been arguing before this match. And so I storm off, we come back, and you know what? I got a little bit of razzle dazzle in that match. So yeah, that's where that comes from. So if you ever hear no razzle dazzle, that's where that comes from. Going back to our match. This was the summer of 2014, so we're building up to Hell for Lycra. Hell for Lycra, what number? 11. Hell for Lycra 11, me and Martin started the match that, I'd been building for years, and I think for everything we put into that match, all the hard work from both of us, all the razzle dazzle from both of us. Martin was up for a little bit of razzle dazzle that night. We put everything into that match, and I think I'll go on record and say it's one of my favourite matches of all time, if not one of the best Hell for Lycra matches of all time. I think everybody remembers that match. Everything was perfect. The crowd was hot, and it's always hard. It's always hard going on last, especially at a long event like Hell for Lycra. Like the crowd's sometimes a little burned out. You've got like 7 or 8 matches, and then you've got a 45-minute heel reel, and then you've got all that. I think we stole the show that night. I think we were the main event that night, and it was great. It's one of my favourite matches of all time. You can watch it on YouTube. There's a couple different outlets for that on YouTube. The best part of it though was backstage, because we had Dennis Stamp as our special guest referee. For those of you who don't know Dennis Stamp, wrestling legend. He was in the Beyond the Mat documentary, famous for jumping on a trampoline. I'm not booked, Terry. It's a meme now, but back then I wasn't. Memes weren't that big back in 2014, I don't think. yeah, we're trying to plan this match, and anytime you're doing anything with an older vet, you know, in general, you shut up, you listen, you let them say what they've got to say, and you don't butt in. You don't tell them what they've got to do. And Martin was very adamant that we had to get our shit together for this match, and we knew what we were doing. I don't know if Dennis Stamp was late or if he was doing a signing or something like that, but he was we were cutting it fine. By the time we ran into Dennis to sit down and actually have sort of what we were doing, and we were like maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes before curtain call, before the main event, and we're sitting down. Martin's getting really anxious about, you know, we need to tell Dennis what we want to do. We need him for some stuff. We need him for some spots or whatever. And he's just pacing back and forth. And I'm standing talking to Dennis. And I think he's telling Debbie Sharp a story. She was part of the match too. Big part of the ending of that match. And he's just telling stories. He goes, "Oh, me and Terry, you know, I remember back in '86, you know, I was telling these, you know, these old timer stories. Awesome year, but not 10 minutes before you gotta go out and have your match, you know, and biggest match of your career so far." And yeah, eventually we told Dennis, you know, hey, can we tell you what we want to do? And lo and behold, me and Martin thought it would be a good idea to bump a man in his, was he 70? Was he in the 70s at that time? Yeah. We asked him, was alright, can you take a ref bump for us? And yeah, me and Martin Stallyon asked Dennis Stamp to take a ref bump for us. Thankfully, Dennis Stamp was on board and he loved it, and he loved being a part of the match, and never forget it, he did an amazing job, and he was just that little bit of icing on the cake to make that match great. Told Dennis Stamp to suck it, which maybe shouldn't have done, but the parallels and the, you know, the rounding off the story, we did things in that match that we'd kind of done throughout our storied kind of history of matches. I was telling you earlier about the DDP show where I jumped off the top turnbuckle into the crowd. Well, in this match, Martin did a springboard into the front row onto me and a bunch of security guards. You know, we added these seeds. I mean, if you're paying attention to these things, great. We kind of laid the foundations for a lot of what we did in that match and previous matches that we'd had. We'd had some other matches. I wrestled Martin in my hometown in Cooper. It was fun. That was fun. We'd had several other matches and things like that, but that Hell for Liquor match was the one. I don't think we ever had a match that good. We had wrestled for the title later down the line. Hit Martin with 11 super kicks in one match. Coast to coast, all these things, but we never were able to recapture the magic of that one match, and yeah, definitely one of my favourite matches of all time. Later on, Martin kind of he took some time off, came back, he repackaged himself, and absolute credit to Martin for completely reinventing himself, because he always had the athletic ability, he always had the in-ring, you know, ability, was able to fly around, do all the wrestling, you know, some great stuff in the matches, but he always just lacked that little edge, that little bit of character, that little intangible X factor. And during one of his hiatuses, I think he found it and came back as just Stallyon, and he rebranded himself, recreated himself, and what an amazing job. A lot of what Martin did in his run as Stallyon has definitely kind of influenced myself a little bit, you know, in terms of what I'm doing now with my character and things like that. It's definitely paid off, definitely influenced me a little bit. His run as Stallyon was probably the best thing, some of the best work of his career, I think. Always enjoyed watching him. I have his match, especially with Stallyon, because he would I mean, Martin was a snug worker. Anyone that's ever worked with Martin would lay his shit in. Like he let you know they'd hit you, you know. And I remember a battle royal in Forfar, and everyone was like, "Oh man, I hope Martin doesn't choke me." I really hope Martin doesn't beat me up, chop me, whatever. At this point, he had kind of built a little bit of a reputation between the boys of like, if he got hold of you, he's gonna chop you, he's gonna strike you. And I thought it was a funny idea to dine and dash in this battle royal. So I get Martin in the corner and I chop him, strike him, chop him really hard, and then I drop, and then I powder, and I'm giggling at myself going, like, I got away with it, I chopped him, he didn't hit me back, I didn't die, everyone else is going to pay the consequences, and I'm kind of outside, and then I get this feeling that there's someone behind me, and we're outside the ring, battle royal going on in the ring, and Martin's chasing me, and Martin's following me, and I'm like, oh god, so we go around the ring maybe once and a half, and I'm like, oh god, he's not stopping, whack, finally catches up to me, chops me, grabs me, head into the ring post. I didn't have time to put my hand up to, protect myself. Yeah, and I had a nice wee memento on my eyebrow. After that one, nice wee lump. So yeah, don't fuck with Martin Stein and not expect to have him, fuck you up after, fun times. Fun times. Martin's last match was a fatal four-way between myself, a worker by the name of Chris Lamb, who Martin had spent time training, and E.G. Mackey, or Ewan Mackey, or whichever incarnation of the Ewan Mackey character that it was at the time. And we were in a four-way, and yeah, it was a great match, awesome ending. Crowd were on their feet for him. All boys came out, gave him a standing ovation. And Martin's last match, he got to pin me, which I thought was fine. I'd like to have been the other way around and pinned him, and sent him off with a nice loss to Ian Ambrose, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe Martin will pattern himself after my career and unretire one day. You never know. Well, probably not, but there's always that hope. I'd love to have had one more match with you, Martin. One last balls to the wall, razzle dazzle mania. I'd love to have done that, but unfortunately, at that time in our careers, we were both not in that place. One great contribution I will mention to wrestling Martin had was United Pro Wrestling. It was something that me and the boys always looked forward to. Always loved our road trips up. Whether it be you'd have Stephen Wells driving us up, and we'd be sneakily trying to eat our food in the car because he didn't want us eating food in his car. Gave me a ball kid for eating Tangy Toms. We loved the trips. We loved coming up there. We loved working the crowds. It was always a really, really good crowd. You had me, Darren, and Eddie were doing the Scumbucks thing up there as heels. And to be fair, you gave us creative control. You let us do what we wanted. Inflatable sheeps with sausages up their bums. Things like that, and I had opportunity to work the world's greatest wrestler in the world, whatever his name is, whatever's giving your brother. I had an opportunity to work him, which was fun. And the best part of the shows were the pre-show speeches, because Martin's family were a whole big part of this United Pro Wrestling up in Mintlaw. And we'd have catering, like Mark's mum would do the catering. You obviously had Raymond, absolute legend, doing all the tech stuff. Yeah, Martin's other brother was the referee as well. And we would all get there, and we'd all feel like we were away going to play in the FA Cup final. Where we were 1-0 down at half time, and Mark's dad would just appear right at the end of the booking meeting, and he gives these amazing rousing speeches, and we felt like we were going into battle, we were going into a war, and it was awesome. Always a great time up there, and it sucks that it was so short lived, and great time up there. You know, we felt free and we enjoyed it, and there was no BS, no bullshit. And Mark's family and Martin always made us feel welcome. I can say that all the other boys from down here that used to go up there, you know, felt exactly the same way. It was awesome. Yeah. So Martin, I want to say thank you for everything. All the matches, all the chops, all the razzle dazzle, all the arguments, all the trips down south, all the crazy stories and fun times we had. Absolutely honoured to induct you into the Hall of Fame. For me, there's nobody in this class that deserves it more. Basically, based on how you've influenced my career and how you've affected me, and it's an absolute honour. It's fantastic to see all the other inductees too, but for me to you, Martin, you've done so much for me in my career, and thank you. And you've done so much for the SWE, and thank you. And one more thing before I go. Hope that there wasn't too much razzle dazzle in this speech. Thank you. No razzle dazzle!
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all 19 Ambros, I'd like to welcome Martin Stallyon up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Stallyon. One thing that Ambros doesn't touch on in his part of the speech is the travelling this guy did from where he stays up in Peterhead. And all the churches down, staying in the training centre in Blairgowrie or crashing at my house or the shed. You can tell they're all in our your speech. But yeah, the travel that he did from Peterhead all the way down to Blairgowrie was quite amazing. And the sacrifices he made to become the SW champion was something else. I remember the match between you and Ambrose at the Borough Hall, and Dennis Sam refereeing it, and it was an awesome match. It was really good. But anyway, I'm going to let you do your thing. So Martin, congratulations.
Just remember one thing, just enjoy it. Forget all of the rubbish that comes with it, just enjoy it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. You know, so just enjoy yourself. Well, Dave, if it wasn't for Esther Marie and you, Stallyon wouldn't never existed, you know. So thank you very much to you. Well, thank you everyone for coming. And that's me.
The reason Martin's going back to his seat right now is because he's going to induct the next person. Okay? So, Martin, I'm going to give you the mic again. And,
I didn't know that I was going to do this. But okay, I will do it for you, Dave. Well, I'm inducting my best friend, my brother. We've been wrestling fans ever since we've been walked. We used to wrestle in the back garden. We used to wrestle on bouncy castle, trampolines, wherever we could. We wrestled. We used like kitchen appliances for weapons or whatever. But we did it. And once I started my wrestling career, my brother thought, you know what, he's going to do something as well. And he became an awesome cameraman, editor, and if you wanted something good for videos, you would go to my brother Raymond. So I'm inducting today my big brother, my best friend, Raymond.
Blue sky, plenty of sunshine. Take a stroll down by the bay. Where else could there ever be such a sensation? When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand, it don't have to hide.
nice to look at me. My brother.
As for the boy who didn't have a chance, another boy had every chance. A soldier's sacrifices and a mother's strength, a good mother's strength, create a stallion. The stallion became a goat. A black and white striped shirt full of soul. The greatest of all time asked the questions, what is love? When you have the joy of loyalty. Further united. The science can't fix the inner pain when it comes crashing down and hurts inside, but a good woman can liberate you from your madness. Fight for the rights of every man, but unfortunately, fighting for the rights of every man will find you in parts unknown, and that's the heel. And just like that, it was over. You'll step in the ring with the game, there is no one greater. This is true. Ignorance to the game is deadly. Learn how to play the game with humbleness, kindness, and ruthlessness, and that brass ring is yours. I love wrestling. I'd just like to echo there what Stallyon said about Raymond. For the longest time, Raymond was our video guy, our camera guy, making us all look good. And it's really down to those guys, you know, in that department to make us look good and to show our strengths and hide our weaknesses. And I think Raymond, I think you did a really good job of doing that. And yeah, you filmed the heel wheel as well, which was always good. Again, we have no speak for this next video. I do hope the speak gets here before Hell for Lycra. But we've had a lot of guests over the years, and one of the guests we had in 2014 at Hell for Lycra. The original match was meant to be him versus Big Demo, and the match was changed just before everyone went out. So we had to change the setup. I don't want to go too much into it because maybe the next speaker will go into how this was set up and how it all came unfolded. But to induct our next inductee, here is former SB champion Dan Blair.
Disaster. I'm looking for this guy running out on the terminal, shoulder pads, big space. He was just this absolute giant man. We didn't have any suitcases for 3 hours, so trying to keep him entertained for 3 hours in the airport was pretty tough. Especially when Dave said he calmed him down after he probably lost his head. So you can imagine what was going to happen. But anyway, we got that sorted out. Lost it in Glasgow, but I found the radio station as well. But got there in the end. But Arnold was just a great person, absolutely loved Scotland, loved touring around Scotland with all of us, and he loved to be a part of it. But the only upsetting thing was that he got injured in Thailand 2 weeks before he came to us, so therefore he couldn't actually wrestle the big demo thing, which is very unfortunate for both of us. Looking forward to the big dream match, and one day we'll advertise it, pushing forward, but unfortunately he can't really help it out in the end. So anyway, we carried on to try and get involved and try to get our hands a bit dirty. I got my arse handed to me for what it is, so it's all part of the parcel. But again, we wanted to come back, we wanted him to come back, but unfortunately, the way last year was going to plan out would be you would maybe bring the big man back, but we all know how that happened in the end. He passed away last year, so obviously we can't bring that dream moment. And I was hoping to get my hands on it a little bit with Roy when he was back here. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. That's why he's going in there to the Hall of Fame. Quite right. He loved every moment of us coming round. He loved every one of the guys. The appreciation from the fans as well was absolutely incredible. Q&As, line up for hours, autograph sessions for hours. But he was just an absolute touch of class and he deserves this Hall of Fame. And it's just unfortunate to speak a lovely message from his wife, thanking him as well for his award. So again, just a absolute touch of class on my family as well going forward. But that's it for me. I can't really say too much because I'll get thrown in and I can't be named that. Maybe commentating. So that's it for me. It's just a great honour to be up here accepting this award on behalf of Arnold, and we'll get this sent over to the States as soon as possible. But it's just unfortunate that split that message because an absolutely heartwarming message. But anyway, got that. Thank you very much for your time.
do some inducted, and this has been a long time coming, and I'm quite nervous to do this. This next person who's been inducted means a whole lot to me and my family, so much so that my middle son Greg has this person as his godfather. And fortunately Greg couldn't be here today, but you know, you know what he is, he's a man now, you know, and wrestling's not cool enough for him. But I want to go back to the almost the very start of the SWE anyway, back 2001, when this young lad came up to the cadet drill hall in Union Street, where we were training just on mats at the time, and he wanted to be a wrestler. And you know, we were in there for maybe 2 or 3 months, and we were starting to make some headway with it. But then the cadet hall started changing hands, there's a new commandant, a new person taking the hall, and they weren't letting anyone from outside of the cadets use the hall. So we had to go away and find somewhere else to book. So we got the recreation centre up at the high school, and that's when Jamie came into his own back in 2003. And I'm hoping I'm getting the dates right, because you know, I'm a wee bit cloudy on some of them. But I'm sure you'll correct me when you come up. I know there's an inside joke about Jamie being my blue-eyed boy. He's actually brown-eyed. But he is kind of my blue-eyed boy. And if I was to pick any time, him over someone, it's going to be him every time, it's going to happen. It's like, who am I against tonight? You're against LJT. Alright, I take that I'm going under there. Yeah. No matter what match we went into, whether it was against Brian Kendrick or Cody Rhodes or Juventud Guerrera, he always put on one hell of a match for the fans and for the guys backstage. I think you guys are out there can agree on that. He did get a lot of the guests, not just because he was the future Division champion or the heavyweight champion or holding both belts at the same time, but because he was one of my favourites. And sometimes it's good to be one of my favourites. I'm only teasing. No, he was given these jobs because he was a damn good wrestler and a damn good worker. He attended every training session there was. Back from 2003 until he took his little bit of a break, he moved down south, came back, and he worked his ass off the whole time he was there. He didn't just work out in the ring and training nights, he made sure he was doing what a lot of guys are doing now. And he would go and he would train out with his training times. You know, he would go and lift all the weights, get programs and follow online stuff. Just really look into things that were scientific or tested and proven, so that he knew what he was doing when it came to building his body up and making that body really presentable for the SB fans, and probably a bit of vanity, maybe. Just a little bit. I don't want to take up too much of this time, because I know that one of the things I can do is I can talk a lot, and I don't want to go in and I don't want to be talking too much. I have touched on the fact he was former future Division champion, former SB champion. He had both belts at the same time. He won them Alpha Lycra in 2015 when he fought Joe Henry. Another outstanding match. I could go on about all the matches he's had, even some of the tag matches, but unfortunately, you know, some of the tag teams that he's fought against, there's one or two there that you maybe can't mention their names now. And that's sad, because some of those tag matches were really good. And again, I think it's your Hall of Fame. If you want to bring them up, you're more than welcome to. But I don't want to do that. Jamie took a bit of a break just about 2019, and he was due to come back last year, just before the pandemic hit. He was due to come back. There was going to be a triple threat match between Darren Blair, LJT and Claymore. There'd been a match for all the ages, because we had someone from each kind of era there, and I was really looking forward to it. But just as that match was going to be happening, COVID hit, pandemic struck, and the whole thing was blown out of the water. It's sad because I think it would have been a really good match, a really good learning curve for everyone involved, and he's got a lot of fun doing it. But I'm not going to stand here and talk. I'm going to let Jamie come and do all the talking. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present the final inductee of our 2020 Hall of Fame, former SWE heavyweight and future division champion, the one and the only LJT.
Shout to all my boss boys, we rowdy. Shout to all my boss boys. Shout to all my boss boys, we rowdy. Shout to all my boss boys. Shout to all my boss boys, we rowdy. Shout to all my boss boys. Shout to all my boss boys. Bangarang bass. Bangarang.
This time, the only wrestling shows you would see would be these like WWE tribute shows. But there was one show on in the town hall with a local boy wrestling, and it was David. That was the Braveheart versus the Golden Crusher at the time. And to see like at that point somebody that you actually know going out and wrestling a match, like as a young boy and living in the same neighbourhood as this person, was inspiring. And I remember like the first time we came to the wrestling class, seeing like the advert just in it, like the idea that you could actually go somewhere and train to become a wrestler was just mind-blowing. And so when I started attending these classes, we would plump on judo mats, and but it was just, I remember the first training session going in, just like bumping for like half an hour, learning how to bump, and thinking like, this is rubbish now. Like, you're just banging yourself against this judo mat. But at the end of the night, they put together this little impromptu tag match, and I remember just like set up like a kind of ring area and get on and do a bit of wrestling. And I was just kind of sitting inside, but the moment that I got in there and actually got to do some wrestling or something, I just remember like the buzz that I got. And started wrestling in 2003, we've said, and I trained for a while as a young guy. But ultimately, as like a 17-year-old boy, I didn't have my priorities in order, and I do sometimes like to imagine what it would have been like if I was stuck heavily at wrestling from that age. And if you are around about 17, you know, that kind of age, if you're young and you're getting into wrestling and you stick with it, like honestly, you've got no idea what you might be capable of, like where you could go. But ultimately, as a young guy, I got distracted and I moved away. And really, when things like kicked off is when I came back from Cornwall, and I was 25 when I came back from Cornwall. And I didn't really know what I was going to do when I was going back to Blair. But luckily, like David, he just welcomed me back to wrestling, and it was like I never missed a beat. And I came back and started doing shows. And I just fell in love with it all over again. And I'm not emotional now. The thing about wrestling, it's such a strange thing, but let me see if I can really say what I'm trying to say here. I never really felt like I was good at anything, or that I really belonged, you know, like this cliche, but really belonged anywhere until I started wrestling, and I felt I was really good at something. I really, really loved it, and it was really good opportunity. I've got to say as well, you didn't just give me one opportunity, because I've walked out as a young guy multiple times, but you just welcomed me back, and I thank you for that. And the opportunity you gave me while I was wrestling for you, like guys, I mean, it's one thing to be able to wrestle with these fly-ins Americans like Brian Kendrick, like Ricochet, and getting to wrestle Cody Rhodes when he's just like 2 minutes into WWE, that's massive. But even like you guys as well, some of the matches I've had, honestly, I could wrestle a match with Cody Rhodes and walk away from it not really feeling like it was like that good, not enjoying the moment so much, and then walk into a match the next week with Chappies and feel like I had a better match. And I've got to thank you guys like Jay, Scotty, Chappies, Darren, Callum, the matches I've had with all you guys, Nathan, like they've been up there and I've enjoyed them just as much as the challenges I've had against guys that come from the States. Ultimately though, what I would like to say is, you taught me something really, really important, David. One of the things that we'll hear a lot, like if you're a younger guy and you're getting into wrestling, is if you really want to make a go of it, it has to come first. Wrestling has to come first, and you will have to sacrifice everything else. But David, you were one person who said something completely different, because you always said the family came first. And I'm glad that you did, because ultimately that's the decision I had to make, is that I had to put family first. And I love wrestling, and I really said, but I don't regret making that decision. I don't regret walking away to be a dad, because like, as much as I look like I'm about to cry, I'm happy about it. I've been a wife, okay? I'm not going on much longer. I want to just say thanks. I want to say thanks to all the guys I've worked with. I want to say thank you to David for giving me the opportunity to have the experiences I've had. You see, honestly, I don't think any of it would have really meant anything if I didn't get the reaction that I got from the crowd in Dundee. To all you guys that came along to the shows, and you showed your support not just for yesterday, but for me. You put me over. You were the reason that I was able to do the things that I was able to do. You were the reason I got these matches. You were the reason that I got the push, because you got behind me. And if it wasn't for that, then you know, I wouldn't be standing here getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, because I wouldn't have been, the whole LJT phenomenon wouldn't have been what it turned out to be. So thank you as well. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to end it there.